Flosstube number 42. My name is Hanneke. If you've never been here before, you are very welcome. I do a lot of cross stitching. I do some embroidery, some haute couture embroidery, and I have so much to show you. It's only been 4 weeks, but so much has happened in those 4 weeks. So yeah, I have everything to show you. Those of you who are recurring, thank you so much for coming back and for supporting my channel and for supporting the things that I do. I am so honored that you take the time out to spend it with me for a little bit. So thank you very much for being here. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I have Moon Deer. Those of you who've watched this channel before, Moon Deer is a thing on this channel. I finished it, I think, 2-3 months ago, something like that. Took it to het Gaerenhuys to be framed. We picked out a frame, and yesterday I collected it, and I am so happy with it. I am so happy with it. I saw it in the shop and my heart stopped for a moment. It was so pretty. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. I'm going to show you that in a minute. My second reproduction is fully finished as well, so I'm going to show you that as well. I have some small Christmas ornaments, some other finished objects, finished stitches. And this is all cross stitch. I've got some whips for you. I've started working on my new reproduction from the sofa. So I'm going to take you through that a little bit because I'm making some changes. And then I've got all my other embroidery as well. So yeah, we've got plenty. I'm going to do a giveaway at some point. So if you enjoy that, stay tuned. Right. Let's start with Moon Deer, shall we? No, actually, I always start with my teacup. And I have been to Den Haag, which The Hague is how most English-speaking people pronounce it. And I went to Wempy and Wempy, or Wempe and Wempe. I don't know how to say it. But they have a lot of second-hand china. And obviously they have a lot of Royal Albert, because otherwise I wouldn't have been there. And I bought a cup that is one of my favorite cups, and it is September Song. And maybe it's because September is my birth month, I don't know, but I've wanted this cup for a really long time. It's sort of soft yellow and then autumn tones for the roses. And I love the motif around it. And I love this shape of cup. It's slightly different than the standard one that you can see there. Beautifully intact, so all the gold is still there. There's a little bit on the inside of the cup. So beautiful. And then this is the saucer. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I love this one. So happy to have found it. And I found 2 others there as well. So my next 2 floss tubes are sorted. Why am I not focusing? What's happening? There we go. That's better. I'm going to just pour myself a cup of tea. It's called, I think it's called Warming or Warming Soul or something like that. It's very nice. Right, Moon Deer, we're going to go straight to it. Like I said, het Gaerenhuys in Ghent has framed it for me. And they told me that it takes them quite a few days because they sort of tighten it and then they leave it for a couple of days and then do it again. And so in the end, you get an absolutely perfectly framed piece. And this frame, when we saw it, we were both like, yeah, that's perfect. Because it has the bullfrog and whiskey that I use in here, which are 2 colors of Weeks Dye Works. It is in the frame. So it is a perfect match color-wise. It is just so stunning. It is framed without glass because I prefer without glass. I think it is softer. And if there is glass on it, it feels less like stitching somehow. And this is stitched on 20 count Aida. And I think this was ivory Aida. And I used my Wheats Dye Works conversion. Now, those of you who know all the story about the flowers, and it's okay, I'm fine with it. You can see it that one side has a slightly different color than the other. That's where it's been bleeding, but the bleeding is gone. So it's just flowers that have slightly different colors. And I think it is just stunning. I'll give you a close-up of the frame. So it is green with gold, like I said. So it is the bullfrog in the whiskey. The bullfrog is this color. The whiskey is sort of all around the yellowish gold. Yeah, it's so perfect. And the way they framed it is just stunning. It reminds me why professional framing is so much better than my framing. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I won't frame everything that I ever make. I can't do that, but this one is framed. The back is beautiful. Those of you who know my backs, this is much better. So I am so pleased, and it fits absolutely perfectly on there. So I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to put it there so we can enjoy it. And yesterday evening, I was just sat on my couch, which is over there, and I was just looking at it and I was thinking, I don't need a TV ever again. I can just stare at this. Stunning. Right, I'm going to pause it and I'll put it up and then I'll come back. There we are. Doesn't that fit perfectly? It's exactly the width of the beam, and we didn't plan that. It just happened. And I'm so happy. The lighting today is not great. That's because it's quite dark outside, and the only way for me to get enough light in is to open the windows there. And so there is a bit of a, I don't know how you say that, but slightly too much light, if you will, from that angle. But it is what it is. So we'll work with it. My second full finish is my own reproduction. So I found a beautiful red sampler in Apeldoorn at the antiques market. I charted it and then I stitched it, but it had a crochet border. And the border was slightly, actually not slightly, it looked like it'd been burned in places. But I really wanted to make it with a crochet border. I can't crochet, but Jenny, who's all the way in America, I think, she can crochet, and she did that for me. And I have attached it. And I think last time you saw the crochet border, you saw the finished stitch, but I hadn't attached it yet. And I now put it together, and I'm so happy with it. I think it's perfect. The size of the crochet is it just fits the whole piece. I'm very happy with it. And I'm quite pleased with my back on this. I mean, this is quite neat, isn't it? So I attached it by hand. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. So that one is done as well. It's my second reproduction. You can find this one in my Etsy shop, which is a Dutch stitcher design. And at the moment, this weekend, I usually in the weekends have a sale going, so you can have a look if you like it. It's lovely. I stitched it on vintage country mocha. I think that's the name for it. It's an Aida 20 count, and I am using, or I have used, Schoolhouse Red by the Gentle Art. And the red is, I think the red is very reminiscent of how the red originally was supposed to be. But on the chart, you will see pictures of the original. it's obviously faded, which is normal. But I love this. Love, love, love this. Very happy with it. So if you would enjoy stitching this one, you can find it on Etsy. And that one is done, which means that I am moving now to charting the second piece on the sofa. And I will put in a picture right here of the back of the sofa. And it is a very long piece, and it has sort of a it's higher on the one side than on the other side, and it fits the sofa perfectly. But I'm not stitching a sofa. So I was thinking, how am I going to make this one piece that is a logical size so you could have it framed if you want, and you don't need to buy whatever you know, specifically made frames for this. So I have been cutting and fixing, and excuse this very unprofessional approach, but this is how I'm doing it. So you can see this side of the sofa, which is the left side if you look at it. If you stand in front of it, it's the left side of the sofa, the highest side. And I'm sort of stopping here, so then you'll have just basically leaves going that way and a few flowers. And one of the flowers is that one. But you have quite a big gap over here. So this is how it ends at the side. So I decided to cut out only that blue flower with a few leaves, and I will chart it in here. So you still have sort of a size that is relatively reminiscent of a rectangle. And you can have it framed like this if you want it in due course. So this is how I'm going to chart it. And I'm very pleased with this. I think it looks lovely. And I really like the light blue flower. And I think I will use the same colors as I did the first one, so wildflowers. So it will be really a series in a similar color palette. Because it is a similar color palette. I'm not making changes on the colors. So I've started charting up here. But I do have to say I don't have much time at the moment. So I think during my Christmas holiday, which is 2 weeks, I will try to chart most of this. And then I can start stitching it. And I know my process is usually quite long, so this will take months and months and months, and you're going to see it again and again, and get bored of it. And someone sent me an email because Wildflowers has been out now since October. And can I just say thank you to everyone who has showed an interest in it, and I'm slightly overwhelmed with how it's going. It's a lovely pattern, and people have come back to me saying, "Oh, I love this pattern. I've really enjoyed it. I enjoy stitching it." And one person actually already sent a finished one to me, saying, "I'm all done." So, yeah, she's a lot quicker than I was, but it's beautiful. She did it on linen, and it's stunning. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that design. And if you want your copy, again, you can go to my Etsy shop. But this one will be there somewhere in 2026. That's the aim. And I think it will be just as beautiful as the first one. So very happy about that. And thank you all for the support on it. Because it is quite scary really to be new with this and just putting out your work, but it's nice to know people like it. Right, oh, I have 2 more little ones. So I'm going to a market next weekend, which is why I'm not doing my Flosstube next weekend. And I'm going to sell a few little Christmas hangers that I've made. I might sell a few brooches that I'm going to show you later on. And then I have, I think, 2 Gaerenhuys and 1 tablecloth, Christmas tablecloth. And this is another little one that I made from a small one by Shannon Christine. This is a freebie, which is why I want to show it to you. If you enjoy Shannon Christine or you like the patterns and want to try them out, if you're part of her Facebook group, she posts these little ones. And she is currently doing 1 new chart every week. So there are lovely little ones in there. and I thought this was a cute little Santa. It's slightly too small really for this frame, but I decided to leave it as it is. It's very sweet. And I stitch on 18 count. People do ask me if I have these frames where I buy them because they can't find them anywhere. Neither can I. I can't find them anywhere anymore. Not this size anyway, other than China website. I don't buy from them. So I can't find them in Dutch or German or Belgian shops at the moment, which is a shame because these are perfect. So that's that one, and then I made this one, which is very sweet. Joy, hope, peace, and wonder. Also on an 18 count. So I think I have about 15 little ones now, and I'm going to leave it with that. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe I sell nothing. That's fine too. I'll have a lovely day. I have another finish, and I love this one. I don't know what to do with it yet, but I will either frame it or make it into a pillow, do something with it. This is Needleworker, I think by Little House Needleworks, but I'm not sure. It is an older pattern, and it is stunning. Now I have changed colors because I didn't have the ones they suggested, so I used for my stash of overdyed flosses. So I think this is the Gentle Art Sable, which I think is a beautiful brown color. And then I've added a red thread that should have been sort of the color of this fabric. So I made it red instead. And that works, I think. I think it's quite nice. I used a different green as well. It's quite dark green. It has a bit of a Christmassy outlook, I think, but that's okay. This is XG Design Ada 20 count, and I love it. I think the color is stunning, and I loved stitching on it. And I think I will frame this one. So yesterday when I went to Gaerenhuys, I collected Moondeer, and Veldbloem or wildflowers was already there. So that's my reproduction. And we thought we'd found a frame, but that was no longer supplied. So I went there yesterday and we found another frame, which is beautiful. So they're going to frame that one now. So maybe next time when I collect that one, I take this one to be framed because I don't know what it is, but I really like this one. It's so simple, but it's stunning. So that's that one. That's another finish. Are you noticing all the finishes? And then I finished this one, which is Noel by Marjory Massey. And it's beautiful. I stitched this on an 18 count with 2 strands of Schoolhouse Red by the Gentle Art. And I finished this on my travels to The Hague. I decided to finish it then, and I really enjoyed it. It's a lovely stitch, and I think this will make a lovely pillow. All I have to do is make a pillow. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. It's very pretty, isn't it? So it's one color, but it is over-dyed. But I've used 2 strands, and I know I'm supposed to use 2 same length strands, but I have used 1 strand and then just put it together. So so I could do a loop start because I love the loop start. But I'm very happy with this one. I'm also happy with 18 count and 2 strands of floss. I think that looks nice. Looks very saturated on color. So yeah, this was great fun. It does take a lot of floss. I'd calculated it, but I needed a bit more. So yeah, it does take a significant amount of floss. But isn't that pretty? A lovely Christmassy finish. I love Christmas, by the way. I love this season. It's perfect. Then we have, and I'm going to show you what I showed you last time because with this one, it is the number of patterns that makes this stunning. So these were the first three that I made, which is the B series by Primrose Cottage. And I have made another one, Kind Words Are Like Honey, Sweet to the Soul. Now this one was a gift from Sarah, from Sew Me Sarah. And I have another one at the ready that I can start. And I look forward to that. I love sort of a similar vibe. I do make changes to it because of that. Because the first one I stitched was this freebie. It was a freebie at the time. It's not a freebie anymore. And this one has a lot of the green and the blue and the yellow. The other ones have a lot of more brownish green as well. So I swapped that out for the proper green and blue, so it remains in a similar tone. Isn't that lovely? I love this series. So yeah, I'm gonna make more of these. I'm making them on 18 count. I do make mistakes in the and I just fudge it. It's fine. Doesn't matter if there's two more stitches between a word or a letter. It's fine. Yeah, it's lovely to have sort of a collection of this and then decide what I'm going to do with all that. Right, let's have a sip of tea. Beautiful little cup. I love that one. I am working on, I think this is from someone on Etsy, NeedleLotDesigns, and I think she is from the Netherlands. And it is a fox, and the fox is actually visible. I did the head yet last night, and I loved it, the outline. And I love this chart. It's a very different kind of stitch. It's a very different style. It's very unique, which is why I like her as a designer. And I have stitched most of the fox, and I've started the moon on the side here, and then finished that part of the sort of the window. Love it. Love the colors. It's very autumny, so that sort of works. I'm stitching it on an 18 count with 2 strands of floss, and I think this is a Zweigart Ada sand. And I don't know what it is, but the stitches lay so neat on this one. I barely have to iron it. Even though it's 2 strands, it just lays very neat. And I love these oranges. I just love that color palette. It's not very orange, it's more of a coppery orange. Very pretty. So that fox is happening. So sweet. And I think I'm about 60% in now. So this might be one that I can finish 2025. So I'm trying to do a bit more focus stitching. So I have a couple of pieces that I stitch on more regularly because there's a few I would like to finish this year. And I have a whole new system of storing things, and I will show you that in a minute. And it is a system for storing for people who live in small houses. I'll show you that in a minute. This is Little House Needleworks. By the way, I'm a new fan of Little House Needleworks. I think their patterns are fantastic. And this is Peace on Earth. This is an older pattern as well. I don't know, when was this from? Doesn't say. Very sweet. Very, very sweet pattern. I am having slightly different color, a slightly more red beige color as a fabric, and I have swapped their eggshell classic colorworks for the whitest white from Soie d'Alger, so that the white is all silk. And I tried the eggshell. I have the eggshell, but for some reason, it became very dirty-ish looking. And so I decided to stitch the white with silk because I find it a lot neater when white is stitched with silk. 1 strand on 20 count. And for all the others, I am picking from stash as well. So the greens are not exactly the greens that are prescribed, if you will. So there you are, the house is coming together. And I love stitching this. There is a lot of white to stitch because these are quite big houses and obviously there are 2. So there is a significant amount of white to stitch, but it's such a lovely Christmassy stitch. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. As you can see, I've left a strand here because I decided to stitch the house first and then move over to what I call the middle section with a Christmas tree, and then I'll do the last section. Isn't that sweet? It's, like I said, on 20 count, 1 strand. Lovely little stitch. And like I said, the silk just lays so much neater on the fabric than DMC white. And it's only the white, and I know we all have that issue that white doesn't look nice, especially not when it's 2 strands, but I find with silk it's absolutely fine. A lovely little pattern and a lovely little Christmas stitch. I don't know if I'll finish it this year. I might do 1 house this year and then do the other house next year. Then I stitched on, what's this called again? Keep Calm and Cross Stitch by CrocetteagogoShop. And I did another section. So this is sort of divided into sections. And I did this. That would also make a lovely little scissor fob or something. There's more stitching in it than you might think. It actually takes quite a long time to stitch that. It has several colors in, almost all the colors that are in this piece. And yeah, it takes a bit of time. But I think I'm about 50% now. So I am moving up here, which is a section with 2 flowers, and then the main big scene in the middle there. But I love this one. I still haven't decided what to put here. There were 2 mouse heads, but I don't like just the heads. So I think I'm gonna do some sort of flower there. I also thought maybe just put that one up and up. 2 more on there if I can count it in. We'll see. I have to do something there. It's now a bit empty. It doesn't suit with the rest of it. It's also a 20 count. It is all the suggested DMC. This is DMC. I used a regular white. It's okay, but it lays less neat than the silk does. It's a very sweet pattern, and I love these colors. The blue and the pink are so soft. Yeah, very sweet. You can also stitch this. They also have examples of this stitched in separate little pillows and stuff. But I decided to stitch the whole thing. Oh, something is showing up on my screen that I have to click away. There we go. That is that one. I have 3 more to show you. This is Aberesque by Jan Hicks. And this is another one that I aim to finish this year. The weird thing about this one is, once it's finished, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do anything with it. But I love the stitch. I just love this stitch. It's very weird, isn't it? So I'm genuinely nearly there. I think I have less than 2,000 stitches to go. So yeah, I'm genuinely getting there. I did the A and the B. Then I stitched these motifs. I pulled this up and this one, and I did all of this. So I've done quite a bit on this one. Now this one is different than you'll see charted. When it's charted, it's just this sort of this shape, but it's one stitch, a lot of one stitches. So it's very spaced out, and it's sort of dotted. And it didn't make sense to me because the whole pattern doesn't have dotting; it has solid, much more. So I made it solid instead. I think it suits the pattern better. So no more letters. I've done the whole alphabet and it's just motifs there in the corner and then it's all done. And it is very pretty. I think it's very pretty. It's just not the kind of piece that I would put up in my house. And the second thing, and I said this when I started it, I find this shape a bit odd for framing. But stitching this is very meditative and very calming and very nice. And I loved these. It was such a treat to stitch this. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed that. I'm stitching this 20 count one strand of DMC, and I think I'm stitching 814, 815. It's in the 800 range. Then we have a butterfly. I haven't done much on this, but I am quite pleased with how this is going. So I've sort of outlined the top of the wing and I have to fill it in now. I stitch on this when I'm at the hairdressers. It's an easy stitch. It's a very easy stitch. There are many different colors and different flowers. And I think this would be quite a nice one to make a pillow actually in the shape of a butterfly. So I have to figure out how to do that, but I think I would enjoy that. And then you can make more than one and have sort of a selection of different colors for different seasons. This is very much an autumny color piece with orange and red. An easy stitch and very calming. And I stitched this on an 18 count with 2 strands of floss, DMC as charted. Very happy with that one. And then my last one, I woke up yesterday morning and I thought, what am I going to stitch? And I thought, oh, I have that one. I haven't stitched on that for a long time, so I'm going to do that. And I did, I think yesterday, I even stitched in the bus on a 20 count. And I didn't get nauseous and I just kept going. So in total, I stitched about 750 stitches on this piece yesterday. And I loved it. Now this is by Artmishka. I think that's how I pronounce it. And she has it in very, very bright colors, which is very nice. But I've decided to go with a different color palette. I think at the time I did that because I didn't have the colors she suggested. And I'd sort of seen this color palette somewhere else and I thought, oh, that's very nice. Let's do something with that. So I'm working with this. I am, so this is sort of a grey purplish. Then there's green. And then there will be salmon, light salmon. Then there will be a darker salmon, a darker green. So it's a very muted palette, but I think it's very pretty. I have about 1,000 stitches in the green left, and then I can start the next band. And this is a stitch where you stitch the negative space. So as I stitch the color, the motif sort of becomes apparent in the white. Lovely little stitch. Well, it's not little actually, it is a massive stitch. But it's great fun. Great fun. And the colors I'm very happy with. I'm very happy with this color palette. And like I said, stitching on the bus with 20 count, I have to say there were bits when I was going like this and I couldn't do much, but I did stitch, I think 250 on the bus, maybe a bit more. So That was the first time. Usually when I'm in a bus, I don't stitch because it feels impossible to do. But I did yesterday and it worked. So I will take that as a win. That is my stitching progress, cross-stitching wise. Let's just have another sip of tea. I have some other things to show you there is obviously my haute couture stitches that I have lying around here. I have a little bit of haul and I'm going to tell you about my storage system. I know some of you really enjoy hearing about how other people store things, and I think I found a way that works for me. And like I said, I live very small, so I have a small one person, one bedroom apartment, and I love my apartment. I think it's great. My perfect house would be a tiny house one day. But in the Netherlands, there are many rules, so tiny houses are difficult. So I have a small, lovely little apartment. I look out over a harbour. I have a very nice spot. But to manage all my stitching and embroidery stuff can be difficult. So I have to find ways to hide things in plain sight, because if you don't, my living room is a mess all the time and I don't want that. So I have found a way of hiding my projects in plain sight. So this is a book store box. It looks like a book, and it's not a book obviously, but I have bought, they had, I don't know how many different. So some have abstract art on the front and others have, I've got one over there, which is about pottery. There is one that says New York on it. So it's all very sort of stylish outlook. And I have, I think about 13 lined up on one of my cupboards, and it looks very neat. And in each of these is a project. So my floss is in here, my fabric is in here, and it doesn't look cluttered. I can just grab whatever I want. I have everything I need in that box. It's not project bags, but it's a similar system as project bags, but I can store it in a way that doesn't look cluttered. It looks very neat and quite, what do I say, uh, with straight lines. I don't know how to say it properly, but it looks neat. So that's how I store it. And like I said, I have about 12, 13 lined up. And I have one bag which has my travel piece in it. Now, the reason for using only 12 or 13 is because I've decided to focus on certain stitches and rotate about 13 stitches at a time rather than more than that. So that's also why I focus on finishing a few pieces so that I can rotate to a new piece. And I find this very doable and very workable. And then I have 2 or 3 extra boxes that I will use for projects that I do in my haute couture and other embroidery endeavors. So I will have a few boxes for that as well. But I really love this. These are not expensive. If you're in the Netherlands, you can get this at Leenbakker. And what was the other shop I went to? Quantum, I think. And they have so many different options. They also have the bigger ones. I also have a few bigger ones that have bigger projects in it. And like I said, when you line it up all together, it looks very neat and you can hide a lot of mess in plain sight. So that's what I did. And so I've got about, like I said, the 13 stitches that I will focus on that I'm very happy with. All my other whips will at some point rotate in it because I do want to finish those. But it will be more focused. Then yesterday I took 2 patterns with me. This one, Baby It's Cold Outside. I don't know if I would stitch Baby It's Cold Outside, but I do like the houses. And it also comes with 2 little pillow patterns. It's very sweet. And the white, like I said, I will stitch that with silk because it's nicer. And this is from Madame Chantilly. Very sweet Christmas pattern. And then this one that I will start today. I love this one. I don't know why I've looked at this so many times thinking, oh, that's sweet. And yesterday I thought I'm just going to take it with me. She had it in stock, so why not? But I think I will change the blue to a green. And I think I will change the yellow to a pink. So it will have a different outlook. And I think I prefer a green design. So we'll see. I'll make some changes to this, but it's very sweet. It's not that big. And it is by Artful Offerings. Very sweet. And then it was Singles Day, International Singles Day or something. And as those of you know who watch me more often, you know I'm very happily single. So I decided to celebrate Singles Day. And there was a sale on with Casa Senina, so I decided to purchase a couple of their patterns, and they are on their way, but I haven't got them yet. But it was a good way to celebrate Singles Day. Then, lastly, cross stitch wise, is my giveaway. This is from Sweet Wing Studio, and I love this pattern. But I have started it and somehow it doesn't click with me, and so I will give it away. It is well with my soul. It is a lovely pattern. It ought to be stitched. So, because I'm not stitching it, one of you might. Leave the word sweet. Leave the word sweet in the comments if you would like this pattern, and I am happy to send it your way. It's lovely. It's a lovely little pattern. I love the color palette as well. She has a series on this. I have stitched one of them. I've stitched God is Good All the Time, I think. And this is a similar one. Then she has You Are My Sunshine, and I think she has just come out with another one. So there are several sort of in this format. But this one can be yours if you put the word sweet in the comments. And next time I will draw a winner, and I will let you know. So for those of you who are not into all my other embroidery, thank you very much for watching. For those of you who are interested in watching other embroidery kind of things, you are very welcome to stay. I am doing a course on haute couture embroidery. Now, I've shown you my embroidery board last time, and I sort of sit at a table. And unfortunately, I'm no longer able to do that. I have an issue with my back between my shoulder blades, and when I sit at that table, one of my shoulders is down and the other one is up. So it's very ergonomically incorrect. So I decided to clear away that table. It is not good for me. I had tremendous dizziness again, and that is because then some of my nerves are sort of squished between my shoulder blades, and I had to go to a chiropractor. I'm pretty sure he broke my neck and my back, and it was terrible. I never screamed, but I screamed this time. And I had pain for I think about 2 weeks. I was supposed to film a podcast that I was looking forward to, and I had to cancel that because I couldn't sit properly for more than 20 minutes. So it was a struggle. But things are going back to normal now. But that table thing I was stitching on is gone. However, I have decided to continue the course and work in hand as I do with all my stitching, because then I can hold it sort of here. I have a specific pillow, and then I can hold it properly. And so I make things still, but I do it in hand, and I may use different techniques here and there. So one of the things I made, and if you are following me on Instagram, you will have seen this. This is a clutch bag. And this is cross stitch still. A little bit of cross stitch and a little bit of all the other techniques. So this is an existing clutch bag. I did not make the clutch bag. I bought this, for those in the Netherlands, I bought this from C&A. And it's only 19 euros, so it's a cheap velvet bag. And then the assignment was to make a clutch bag inspired by one of the main fashion houses. And I had seen one of the main fashion houses had cross stitch in their dresses. So I thought, that's it, I'm running with that. So I made a cross stitch. And can I just point out to you that I stitched this on black and it was fine. I struggled with one other one that I did on black, but with this one it was absolutely fine. It is an 18 count and I did one strand of floss. And it was a pleasure to stitch. It's only little. And then I had to sort of construct a circle around it. Now I did it in several ways and it didn't work. And I decided, because this is quite a hard clutch bag, I decided that this also needed a hard structure. So there's a metal ring that I embroidered into it. And then I used the sequins and the beads to make flowers and to make that border. And I love it. I think it is incredibly sweet. And it just, I'm not sure if it's perfect yet. I'm not sure if the balance of cross stitch and the rest is perfect. But I was able to make this. I was able to make this in a hoop. I couldn't stitch it fully in hand, just holding it. But I stitched it in a hoop. And then I also stitched different elements at different times. So all the flowers were stitched in a separate hoop, and then I could sort of combine it all together when I stitched it onto here. No glue has been used; it's all been stitched, and it is quite quite tight. It doesn't go anywhere. So that's my clutch bag, and it is. I think I'm very pleased with it. I think it's very pretty. Lovely, lovely. That was one of the assignments. Then, because I couldn't stitch on the board, I had a moment of I have to rethink my everything, and I've decided to focus on accessories. So I'm going to focus my embroidery journey on accessories. And I love making accessories. So I started making the beaded brooches that are very, very pretty. And I am nowhere near as good as some of them. But I am trying. So the first one I finished properly, I am still the most happy with. I think it is so, so sweet. It is a little bird brooch. And as you can see, I've used a number of different beads. I have used Swarovski pearls. That's sort of this light pink row. I've used a number of different sequins that I stacked on top of each other. And I used a little bit of silk swadelge around the eye. And it's so pretty in the light. It shimmers and it does. It's beautiful. All those beads have a very different shimmering, so it's very pretty. Now the back is a piece of leather, and then I stitched the beads around it. Now I think the back is still something to work on. I think I picked the wrong color to stitch this with, but it's not too bad. But it is something to continue my work on. And obviously it has a little closing pin, so you could attach it if you wanted. And it would look like this. That'd be lovely. Or if you have a scarf on, if you have a nice scarf, you have a brooch like this. This is a bit heavy. Um, that's also because of the leather. I think most of the weight comes from the leather. But it's so, so pretty. So yeah, I was very happy with this one. Then I thought, let's make a flower in similar colors as that one. And so I did. And this is the flower. I don't like the flower as much, but I still think it is pretty. Um, it has two colors of soie d'Alger. So I did silk shading first. And then in the center, I just worked with I don't know how many different kinds of beads and just put them all together. And then I put the little gold beads around it because it needed a bit of sparkle there. Um, like I said, I don't love this one as much as I do the bird. Uh, I do like the shimmering sequins on the side here, and then the way it sort of moves over into the silk soie d'Alger. But it would still be lovely if you have, again, a scarf or something and you have this brooch on that. I think it's very sweet. And then my third one, I thought it was going great. I really loved it. And then I think the wings are not perfect. So this is another bird. I used the colors of an eagle and I didn't even plan to. It just happened. And I think the bird's head is very nice. I think the body is very nice. The little tail is very nice with three colors of sequins. But I somehow do not like the wings a lot. I think they're a bit weird looking. But the body of the bird I think worked out quite well. Now the other thing I did with this was practicing my back. So instead of leather, I used um, felt, and I like this a lot better. I think it's a lot neater, and the beading is a lot neater. So I think I will stop using the leather and instead use the felt. It's just a lot neater. So that was the journey I went on with this one, to make it neater, to make it work better. And again, I think I love the bird's face, I love the body, um, but I'm not a fan of those wings. They do shine prettily though. And this would be the perfect color up here. It's very sweet. And then currently I'm working on an assignment where I have to use feathers. So I've started another brooch. I've decided to make an accessory for a specific dress that I've seen because again I have to find my um, inspiration in a dress from a fashion house, and I'm working on this. So I do love the way this shimmers. I will find beads to go over these feathers a little bit so it sort of spreads out. So it goes from very dense to sort of, um, and then this feather on this side, I still have to tighten, I still have to stitch that on basically. Um, and then all of this I will fill with something. It might be with silk floss, it might be with beads, big or small. But I have to see later on today how I'm going to sort this out. But I like what I have at the moment. I think it's very pretty. Um, and I also really like this little, what is it, a stalk? It's a stalk. Um, because it's just metal, there's metal thread all around it, basically. And this is the end of the metal thread that I then put beads around. And this will be stunning if you have this if I continue executing this properly, I think this will be stunning in the end, and I will hand it in as one of the assignments. And then I got these little boxes from Gaerenhuys. I don't know if that's how I say it, but that's how I say it in my head. And they are perfect for the brooches, especially this color is perfect. So I was considering taking this to the Christmas market with me for sale. I also put this one up on my Etsy shop because I think this one is stunning. And yeah, if anyone would like it, you can purchase it. And then I've started another one as well. So I will also make this one um, into a brooch. And we'll see how. I'm still trying out different things. I also bought all the stuff to make an sort of a flat hat um, that you then sort of have to build up. So I'm going to try that as well, making applications. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a way to use all this beautiful stuff and these lovely techniques into making accessories for people. And I'm really enjoying that. So that is my journey when it comes to embroidery. I've done a lot when it comes to embroidery, uh, but I did have to make a shift in my head because I can't make all the things that I was planning on making. But my back is almost back to normal, and I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to be careful with it and stitch the way I know that I can do. But it is sort of building up several pillows, and then I can hold it like this, so I don't have to look down, and my shoulders are the same at the same height, stuff like that. And that's that. I think I have showed you everything. And I was really looking forward to this Flosstube because of my moon deer. Isn't it beautiful? It's going to be there as long as I live here. And I have started another moon deer. It is currently not in my, not another moon deer, but a similar one from the same, from Our Forest Embroidery. It's exactly the same size. It is, I've decided to stitch it in the same colors, so it will be a companion piece. But it is not in my current rotation, so it will come up at some point again. But yeah, for now, this is what it is. I thank you very much for watching. Again, I thank you very much for supporting this channel, supporting my Etsy shop, all my endeavors when it comes to making reproduction and making charts, which is all very new to me. And it is a steep learning curve, but it's great fun. And thank you so much for showing interest in it. I do appreciate that. I wish all of you a lovely December. We're going to enjoy Christmas time. I love Christmas, so I'm just going to soak it all in. And I probably see you once again before the new year, before 2026. And we'll catch up then. Thank you very much for watching.